Hi, this is Gary Kayye. We're here at ISE 2019. I'm here with Christos Birbilis with Belden, product market manager for EMEA for which product line?
It's the IBDN product line.
IBDN, okay.
Correct.
So here's the thing. As everyone knows, the AV industry is moving across to IP, right? We all know that everything's going to go to the network. And there's a lot of hype and a lot of talk about transmitters and receivers and standards for 1 gig, H.264 1 gig and 10 gig. But what is getting lost in all of this is the importance of everything that connects that together. We're talking about connectors, we're talking about the wire, we're talking about the patch panels, and of course the switches. In your case, what Belden is specializing in with this group is the patch panels, the cable, and the connector. So talk about the importance of that as you see it with regard to headroom in bandwidth.
Sure. So our philosophy is in regards of everything which is passive, which connects actually the transmission part, we consider you need to go one step further to get into a performance level which suits all these applications. So we know that the standards for 10 gig, the TIA standards, have a certain specification.
But that's a network specification, not necessarily meant for video though, right?
Correct, and that's why we go the step further, increasing the capabilities of the entire network end-to-end, by introducing our technologies, our enabling technologies into cables, into connectors, into the patch panels, the patch cords, so in fiber and in copper. And we offer a 25% headroom to any standard, which elevates the performance and especially the bit error ratio reduces dramatically.
Right, because you have more headroom. And then so this encompasses, let's talk about fiber in a second, but let's start with copper. I mean, the great majority of the systems, at least now, are going to be built on copper.
Absolutely.
So you're talking about, so the cable, this is beyond the standard for TIA for 10 gig, even though there's a standard for 10 gig cable. The cable, the connector, and the patch panel. If the videographer will shoot this patch panel here, these are all passive devices, but they're all integral to the system because you're going to be running 10 gig of video through these.
Absolutely, yes. And as I was saying, you can compare it like a pipe of water. You can have a very big water pipe, which reduces to a smaller one. So, what is the relation here? So your throughput will not be the big pipe, but it will be the small pipe. So for this reason, it's not only our cable which is high performing, headroom, but also the connectivity. The connectivity should not be a reducing factor. So for that reason, it's all the link is 25% headroom to provide this performance.
Right, and so that encompasses the copper connectivity, which includes the CAT connector, the Cat 5, Cat 6 connector. It includes the cable, the wire, and go ahead and explain that.
Absolutely. So we have a system which is called RefConnect. RefConnect is a product we produce in our factory in Denmark. And so the abbreviation is reliable, easy, and versatile. So versatile is actually because we can do with one termination method, shielded, unshielded, category 5E, category 6, category 6A, stranded cables, and solid core cables. So that's the versatility of the system. Easy because you need to remember only one method of termination for all.
Right.
And reliable because we did some benchmark testing. Industry standard terminating these cables tells us that approximately 5% have to be redone by mistakes, hubbles or color coding mistakes, many different mistakes can happen. With RefConnect, by doing with our partners benchmark testing, we could reduce this to 1% mistake. So this means an 80% improvement.
Right, so then that helps in troubleshooting, because that's ultimately where it's going to come down to. Absolutely. Being problematic, and to go through and have to test each connector to figure out which one's the problem. So the idea is to help you build it better from the very beginning so you don't have those problems and your failure rate is less than 1% with regard to throughput. So what you're saying is the system might still operate when you're doing the initial test, but then you start having problems that you don't even realize existed until you start putting 10 gig through a system that was doing 1 gig.
Absolutely. And another thing, because of the headroom, you are allowed to do a little bit more mistakes. So because installations, you could have installations which are very accurate according to the rules, but sometimes it's the nature of things. You do fast installation, you don't account all the parameters which should be taken into account. With a system which has headroom, it's more forgiving.
Right, so you don't have to worry about it as much. And that also includes your fiber product as well. And obviously, with any sort of distance, you're going to see a lot of AV over IP, especially at 10 gig, going to go over fiber, obviously, right? So therefore, you've got one system for terminating fiber regardless of the bandwidth. Absolutely.
So we have a fiber, field terminatable fiber range of connectors from LC and SC connectors, multi-mode OM1, OM3, OM4, and single mode APC and UPC. So the entire spectrum of the connector availability. For 900 micron buffered cable, 2 millimeter jacketed or 3 millimeter jacketed, which are GR 326 rated for outdoor environments, so also for outdoor environments. It's a field terminated system. We have our splicer, the splicer and the cleaver, two very important elements to do a splice on these connectors. So these are prefabricated, sealed in vacuum packaging to avoid contamination. Only to be opened when going to be used. And it's a pre-polished, ready connector, factory ready ferrule, which is then spliced and assembled as a connector, ready to be used.
This all can be done in the field, and these are the different parts, and this is all Belden products. So the message here for the integrators that are moving into AV over IP is to pay attention to the cabling, patch panels, connectors, and termination that you're doing out there, and to come to Belden because of the headroom that you provide, the quality control that you're providing, and then the additional much lower failure rate than the industry average, which I think you said is about 5%, and connectorization termination, it goes down to below 1%. How do we get more information? Just go to Belden.com, or is there a microsite for Belden?
We have on our website, Belden.com, where you can go which markets we serve, which products relate to this market, or the other way around, from product to market. So our website is very intuitive and guiding. We have also our online catalog, so just type in whatever you need, and it will bring you all variants of cabling from the nowadays in the European Union. We have a new CPR called CPR rating. So we have a variety of cables, fiber and copper, complying to these new CPR ratings.
Well, Christos, thank you very much for the education. I appreciate it. Prior to getting on camera, he explained to me the technology behind this and the accuracy and the detail at which that Belden is paying attention to this. I got a good education on that, and I really appreciate it. I mean, the whole AV over IP market is so new that everyone's not considering potentially every piece, and that's where Belden comes in. So, of course, check them out at Belden.com. Christos, thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And You can see all the videos we shot here at ISE at raypubs.com. Just click on the ISE link.